Good morning, guys. Well, sort of morning-ish for me, since I'm on vacation this week. I am trying not to look at the clock, but habits, you know. So, got my coffee, and I'm not as dolled up as I was yesterday. Forgive me. But, I've got some time, so I wanted to jump on here and do a video for you guys, a person-to-person video, and it's not scripted. This is totally on the fly. I came across something on Facebook, and I thought, let's talk a little bit about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. We have a break in the court proceedings this week. And I thought, you know, it might be nice to, just get on here and talk a bit. I'll just give you my true and honest feelings about how things are going. I'm, not a lawyer or anything like that. Sorry, it's adjusting the camera's on. So anything that I do express is my complete opinion. Let me first, I want to back up first. First, I want to ask you guys a question. It's crazy when, we finally hit 100 people, yay, and I look at other YouTubes, the other videos, and I see some videos that are really long, like an hour long, and on some of them they get quite a few views, and on others the shorter ones are getting more views. And I suppose that depends on how interesting the person is that is speaking. I don't find myself to be that interesting. I've just gotten, I think I'm at 102 subscribers now, and I'm curious. I'm not able to put up a poll yet because I think you need 1,000 subscribers for that, but I'm curious if you could I'm trying to build my audience, because as with my goal on my Facebook, the narcissistic abuse support group on my Facebook, we're almost at 6,000 followers, and it's really easier for me to be more interactive with that, as I can just make a post, whereas I can't do that here yet. So I want to build this channel not for monetary reasons, but excuse me, so that I can continue to do what my dad told me to do when he passed. And he literally left a letter that said, stay the way you are and keep helping people, and stay the way you are. I've got that backwards. Stay the way you are and keep helping people. And I've strived to do that ever since, using my grief, my pain, the things that I've experienced in my life, including my abuse situations, more than one, to try and detour others, so whoever sees my videos, maybe they can connect with something that I've been through, something that they hear me say. Maybe it can help others avoid some of the pitfalls that I and probably some of you have gone through. So it's important to me excuse me, that I build this channel for that reason. As I mentioned in one of my other videos, I did put my Cashapp in the description, as well as a link to my Amazon wish list for my daycare. And again, anything that is given to me is going straight into my daycare. Something for the kids, upgrading on their toys, what have you, anything to make the daycare better. Cleaning supplies, what have you, paying the tax bills. So, yeah, so it will all go towards my daycare. And I thank you in advance for anyone that is able and so sees fit to do that. If not, that's fine too. That's not why I'm here. Got my coffee. Excuse the clearing of my throat. I was in the mountains yesterday visiting family for my birthday, and I love my state. I love Virginia. It's a beautiful state with so many things to see, so many places within an hour or two of where you live to visit. We're a very historic state. There's a lot of history here. Not all of it good, but there's a lot to be learned here in Virginia. There's a lot of beautiful places to see. There's waterfalls, there's beaches, there's mountains. There's parks galore. There's so much to see and do here. I like to go to Monticello. Up there, it's near my sister. We've got Washington's home. And then we've got Virginia Beach, and we've got the Eastern Shore if you want to take that trip through the Chesapeake Bay Bridge and tunnels. There's just so much to see and do here. It's just, for me, when I get up into the mountains, there's trees around where I live, but it's not like when I go up to see my sister. I mean, there's trees, and then there's trees where they're all on you, and they're everywhere. And we sat out on the deck, and you could see pollen and I guess would be like little buds of things, just flying and floating through the air. So last night and today, I got this going on. Anywho, I wanted to talk a bit about the trial. And since we have a break this week and I'm on vacation this week, I got a little time. So this video may be a long one. If you want to grab some coffee and sit with me if you have the time, and just chat, communicate with me in the comment section if you like, about the video. And I'd love to hear your personal opinion on how you think the trial is going. I personally think that I believe, I want to say 99.9% that Johnny Depp will win his case. That's just what I believe. Because one, the man is just innocent. Even without a trial, if you look, without the court case, because he's not on trial, and I really hate the way sometimes Amber's attorneys kind of make it look like he's on trial. He's the one that brought this to court. Anyway, forgive my blankness. I think I explained that in one of my other videos. Sometimes my brain just does that. But just looking at his history, he doesn't have a history of being abusive to women. Anybody that you speak to, even Amber's, I think I read that Amber's team had hired a private investigator to find something on him and could not. Everybody had just the nicest things to say about him. And you can just even tell, just from the way he behaves with his fans, he's not put offish with them. Even I saw a video where he was stopped at a red light, and it was just probably just a few people standing there or sitting there, and lo and behold, there's Johnny Depp's car, and he rolls down his window to speak to them. He could have kept his window up, pretending not to see them, whatever. But that doesn't seem to be who he is. That's not the kind of person he is. He makes a real, probably exhausting effort to make sure the fans know that they are appreciated. He knows that his fans are they're people. I also think Johnny Depp has a fan base that you may have a few like fanatics, but I think for the most part, Johnny Depp's fan base and the ones that are he's continuing to grow. He went from 11 million on Instagram to 16 million now over the course of this trial. But I really sincerely believe that most of his fan base are just people who can relate to what he's gone through and can identify with the strength that he's showing in trying to move forward and heal and just get the word out there and clear his name. I don't think Johnny Depp, I think, has a unique fan base. I really do, in that I believe that for the most part, we, myself included, are all just people who can identify in one way or another through what he's been through. And he seems like such a down-to-earth person. He seems like the kind of person that, if you meet him, would just immediately try to make you feel at ease and not, uncomfortable in any way. Hey, Sandy girl. And he just strikes me as that kind of down home, at the base of who he is. I think he's just this down home, don't get mad at me, Johnny, for saying this, but like this down home country boy inside, and so he can relate to the people. He knows what it's like. He remembers what it's like, even though he basically, as a teenager, grew up in the business of Hollywood. He remembers and knows what it's like to be on the other side of that fence. And I don't think he doesn't seem to ever want to make anyone feel left out or unappreciated. And he never elevates himself, Now, and you can see that by the effort he makes to say hello to everyone going in and out of court. Now, Amber Heard does not do this. She goes out of her way to snub everyone. She's not a very likable person. I mean, just in general. Not even just, nose it. And it's not even, yes, what she did to Johnny is just appalling and narcissistic. But even if we compartmentalize that and just look at her as a person and the way she treats people in general, even her own attorneys, and the way she looks at people or doesn't look at them, the way she goes in and out of court and makes, and just the way she has been, her Twitter, her tweets, the things she puts on Instagram, she is all about, look at me, pay attention to me, aren't I so important? And which, hate to tell you this, Amber, but no. And in her head, she is more famous than she really is. And she just treats people like shit. And that's why nobody likes her. Again, like I said, taking away, never, what she did to Johnny, that's bad enough. But even if that didn't happen, even if that never existed, and we weren't in court for it, she wasn't in court for it, I wouldn't say we, but we're all watching. Our lives are, we are invested in this court case. As a person, and even looking at her history when she was with Johnny, just the way she is, the way she holds herself, even the way she is with the media, she is a nasty, unfriendly individual, and that makes her just, she's very unlikable in general. And I think, to be honest, I think Johnny's ability to just make people, because he's just being himself, and you can tell he's just being himself. You can tell when somebody's putting on airs, and he doesn't. And I believe the jury sees that. And I think, like I said, 99.9% sure he's going to win his case. I keep hearing and reading where, they keep saying that Amber's side does. They like to point out the fact that it's just going to take for the jury to believe that Johnny abused Amber one time and she would lose her case. I got to be very honest with you all. First of all, what I keep hearing is that Johnny kept walking away from things when they got heated. But secondly, and I don't know how to word this, so I'm going to be careful how I say it. If I was on that jury, and I realize I'm biased, yeah, but if any of it was up to me, and with all the evidence against Amber, the witness statements, the fact that Johnny's account of things have not changed in 6 years. Hers have, and have been added to. Her witnesses are not coming forth to testify for her. To my knowledge, I don't know if she has anyone else coming. I don't think that they have the time to do that, so I don't know. But if I was on that jury, I would be thinking to myself, and I may not say it out loud to the rest of the jury members, but I would be thinking to myself, you know what? She probably deserved a slap, or a shove, or something in self-defense. I don't think he ever abused her just outright to harm her. I think anything that happened between them was him the times when she wouldn't allow him to walk away was in complete self-defense, survival. I mean, I think if he had not gotten away from her, I think we would have been seeing different headlines, because I think she would have killed him eventually, because abuse escalates and it continues to escalate until somebody leaves or somebody's dead. Because abusers will continue to cross your boundaries. They will continue to see how much you will put up with, and the more you put up with, the worse they're going to get, because they're going to continue to push that limit until either you leave or somebody's dead. I don't know if any of you all are watching. Remember the movie The Burning Bed with Fair Faucet, I believe. Whew. I saw that movie as a kid. I mean, that is, I think, an extreme case. You know, it was based on a true story, I do think. But people who are abused can only take so much before they fight back, or they walk away. They either walk away or fight back or end up dead. That's the only three choices that you have. You know, when you're just trying to survive a toxic relationship, you either walk away from it, you fight back, or you get killed. And so if I was a jury member, I'm siding with Johnny, you know, knowing that anything that he may have done would be in self-defense. I don't believe for a second he beat her. You know, and by the way, that little smirk she made on her face when, you know, they mentioned that Johnny wasn't that much bigger than Amber, and she was kind of like, you know, like whatever. In height and stature, he's not. You know, on TV he might look like a bigger dude or whatever, but he's really not. I think somebody said he was like 5'10", something like that. You know, I'm 5'4", 5'5" on a good day. But Amber, especially somebody that wears heels, you know, I think she comes right just above his head. So as far as height goes, she's got him on height. Now, if we're talking, you know, bulk or whatever, you know, muscle, some would argue that he is stronger than her. But there again, I'm not saying, you know, I'm sure Johnny's a strong dude, but Amber works out and she trains and she brags about it. That needs to be brought up in court, personally. I think the fact that she regularly trains and you know, to stay physically fit, so she's probably very strong. And if she wasn't, if she wasn't an abuser, she wouldn't, I want to say, she wouldn't go after him the way that she continued to do. And let's talk about that for a second. Okay? As I said, just me talking might be boring to some of you, but I'm talking this because I don't ever get the time to do this. So I'm talking this out about the things that we have heard and seen in this over the course of this court case. And I really want to hear your thoughts on it. And maybe if I bring up something that you weren't aware of, let me know that as well. Maybe you're aware of something that I'm not. I watched, it's crazy, you know. I kind of wish the court case was on this week because I'm on vacation and I can devote more attention to it, but I'm also glad it's not, because I didn't want to spend my vacation time glued to my TV or computer. It's because it's crazy, you know, when I've got the kids here, you know, daycare's open, I have my headphones on, and I have one ear, this headphone on, this one off, and my eyes are constantly, you know, and then sometimes I have to obviously have to get up and go do things. And when I get out of range of where the Bluetooth disconnects, because this is a really sucky set of headphones, but I'm like, oh my god, I can't hear what's going on. But then there's always the replay, and I can look at stuff later. But yeah, it is literally, we are in this court case with him. We are all in this courtroom with Johnny. Our lives, many of our lives are consumed with this right now. Because this is it. I mean, once this is over, he can move on with his life. One way or another, he can, a lot of people will agree that win or lose, there really is no losing in this. Can I just say that? There really is no losing for Johnny in this case, because he did what he set out to do. He let the world know. Think about this, man. The man wanted the cameras in the courtroom. He knew some shit was going to come out that we had never heard before. He knew we were going to hear things that were unsettling. He knew some very private, personal shit was going to be shared with us. He took a risk, and he had the strength, and not just the strength, but I believe he had the faith in all of us, the people that believe in him. I believe he had faith enough and trusted. Think about that, really. I think it took a lot of faith and trust for him in all of us to air out all his dirty laundry in front of the world and know that we aren't judging him. We're going to stand by him no matter what. And believing that people are basically good and will see the truth. That's who he is. I believe that he believes in the basic goodness of people. So he aired it all out and let them make up their own minds. And when you go from 11 million followers to 16 million followers in a span of 3 to 4 weeks' time, that speaks volumes about what the world believes. Amber told him, tell the world, Johnny, tell them that you are a victim of domestic abuse and see if they believe you. And 16 million people have on social media spoken. And that's just the people who are on social media. I do have to say something though. I want to say something though to the people of Hollywood, the actors and actresses and all, who didn't believe him at first, that are now following him. I'm happy that they are seeing the truth and hearing everything for themselves and making up their own minds and coming to follow Johnny and support him. That's super, but why didn't you believe him in the first place? What did he ever do to make you think that he was ever possibly capable of the things that she accused him of? Why, like Johnny said, it didn't ever have to come to this. It didn't never need to go as far as it has gone. He never should have had to prove himself. But there he is. And I commend him, because I know it has to take strength and courage to put all your shit out there and just have faith in people to believe the right thing. Now, the thing that caught my attention, that had me thinking I want to do this this video, I don't know if I can get a screenshot up while I'm recording or not. I don't really know how that works. So I may just have to read it to you. But there's a thing here I came across on Facebook, and it says, and I hate the way they fucking headline this shit, clickbait and whatever. But it says it's by who is this? It's an IJRLJ. I've never heard of them before. They claim to be a media and news company, independent journal review, news site that provides readers with reliable information. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay. But the headline says Amber Heard ruined Johnny Depp's life as well as career. What kind of... She didn't... Okay. I want to address that statement, because his life, that's a pretty big statement to make, really. First of all, his life is not, it's far from ruined. And his career, just because you don't work in Hollywood does not mean that you can't work as an actor. He has his own production company. Does he have more than one? He paints. He has his Never Fear Truth movement. And when this is over, I dare say Hollywood will be begging for him back. I think the very people that shunned him are going to be very apologetic after hearing. They're probably trying to figure it out now. Oh shit, everything's out in the air. Listen to all that crap that Amber did, and we sided with her. How do we ever make it up to Johnny? I don't know about Johnny. I mean, he's probably got a bigger heart than I do, because I think I would be, nose itching again. But then, so it says petitions. This is about the, this is about the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Petitions attract more than 500,000 signatures to restore Johnny Depp's role in Pirates of the Caribbean. Let me pull my thing back up. Sorry, my nose is itching like crazy. Y'all remember Johnny made a statement that he wouldn't go back to Disney for what was it, $1 million, 100? I don't remember what he said. And then the alpacas. That's crazy. That had to be like some random thing off the top of his head, and now it's a thing. There's alpacas taken to the courthouse. They're so cute. And bless those people's hearts that have those alpacas and bringing them to the courthouse like that. I'm sure it makes Johnny smile. So he has said that he wouldn't, I'm just going to paraphrase, basically he's told Disney, I'm never coming back. Captain Jack Sparrow that's it. It's done. And he mentioned, it making him sad, because as with any franchise, characters need a way. You need a way to say goodbye to those characters. Like when you're reading a good book, You get to you have to have closure. You get to the end of a movie series. You need closure. And there's no closure there. I think and I'm saying, because if it were me, I wouldn't give them the satisfaction of going back. But I am saying, and this is a huge if, capital I, capital F, underline, exclamation point, if Johnny were to ever say to go and do a 6, it would, 1, be the last one. And 2, he wouldn't, I believe this with all my heart, with everything inside of me, he wouldn't do it for Disney. He wouldn't do it for the money. If he went back and reprised his role as Captain Jack Sparrow for one more Disney movie just so things could end well, he would do it for us. And it chokes me up to think about it. If he did it, y'all have to know. Disney owes him the biggest apology, and honestly, they should grovel and beg him back. I wouldn't do it, because to me they screwed up by not believing in him, and Warner Brothers too. They literally re-victimized him by supporting his abuser. That's unforgivable. But if he went back and did this, if they asked him back, and I kind of expect it. I don't know. I don't work in Hollywood. But if they did, and he went back, he would be doing it for us. He would be doing it. He would be doing it so that Captain Jack Sparrow could properly he wouldn't do it for Disney. He'd be doing it for each one of you guys. So the characters could have a proper ending. So that Jack Sparrow could go back and knowing Johnny, to say a proper goodbye, to have a proper ending. What that would look like, I can't even imagine. I'm sure we could all figure out a million endings to it all, but and if they do have the nerve to create a Pirate 6 without Johnny Depp, they're gonna lose so much money, because those movies cost so much to make. I do think I saw something about it. costing more than any other movie. I might be wrong with that, I'm not sure. But excuse me, y'all. They would lose money. I can't think. 16 million's a lot of people to boycott a movie. It's a lot of lost money. I know so many people that have already canceled their Disney Plus accounts. I'm one of them. You know, now I'm torn. I see a lot of people saying, let's watch the Pirates movies to support Johnny Depp. But to me, you're also supporting Disney. You know, and what sucks about it is that there's other actors in Johnny Depp's movies, you know, like the other actors that, you know, movies Disney has done, movies Warner Brothers has done with Johnny Depp. You know, there's other actors in it that, and the same for Amber, there's other actors in her movies that don't deserve to be boycotted. So it's like you get this torn feeling because you're not wanting to harm the other actors, but by the same time you want to make this very big statement. And the best way to make a statement with someone like Disney, Warner Brothers, is in their pocketbook. That's the only thing they're going to listen to. They could care less about anything else. It's their purse. So, anyways, I'm really sorry I got emotional. Like I said, I just want to sit and talk with you guys about how I'm feeling about the trial, and that article popped up on my Facebook today, and I'm just like, what kind of shit is that the headline to make? And then they were talking about the petition. I know that Johnny's fans will support him no matter what he decides to do. But I do believe with all my heart, if it just so happens to happen that there is a Pirate 6 and Johnny does reprise his role as Captain Jack Sparrow, I think it would only be for his fans. And I don't want to put anything out there, but it wouldn't surprise me if whatever he made from it, he would donate somewhere, because I think it might put a bad taste in his mouth now to take money from Disney. It would me. That's, I'm just saying, that's just me. And I'm not Johnny, so I'm not in his head. I don't know what he's thinking when it comes to that. And we don't always know. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and what's being said or what deals might be being talked about and all. So we just kind of have to wait and see when things happen. Now, when court resumes next week, I think they're done. I think Amber's side is done with her. I'm not sure. God, I hope so. But the cross-exam is going to be very interesting because she brought up Kate Moss. Dumbass. But yay for Johnny, because that opens the door for now Johnny's team to bring up her past relationships. Excuse me for one moment. I am expecting a delivery and I may have gotten a message about it. So there's some stuff happening in the Never Fear Truth Discord. They play games and stuff, and you'll get notifications about that. I told you I got my first POAP, right? Silly as it is, I was so happy about that. Anyway, so yeah, since and I know she did it thinking, she kind of slipped it in there. She's like, oh, it just made me think of Kate Moss and stairs, and instead of it having the effect she was hoping it would have, it's just the opposite, because Johnny's team immediately all but got up and cheered, and even Elaine's face was like, ah, oh, fuck, she did not just say that, because now they can talk about her past relationships, including her past arrest for domestic violence. She has history, whereas Johnny Depp does not. And I think if any jury member is kind of swaying, how could they be? But if they are, when they hear about her past priors, that's just gonna solidify it for them. That's Amber's nail in the coffin right there. They couldn't bring it up before, but since she brought it up, now it's on. The cross exam is going to be phenomenal, and I'm not going to miss it. I would not surprise me. Watch what I say. If during the cross exam she becomes violently ill, or just breaks down to the point where she has to be removed from the stand, it wouldn't shock me if she takes something beforehand, to be honest with you, to where it makes her either pass out, or I wouldn't put it past her to do something to make herself physically ill. Really, I don't trust her at all. Speaking of trust, I think they need to do a drug test on her, because there's definitely something suspicious about the whole. When you use a tissue, there's if you go back and watch, there's video. She's using the tissue. If your nose is running, you're gonna dab at it with the tissue. You may try to, especially if you're on TV, politely kind of blow your nose. No, she puts the tissue, and it looks like she shoves part of the tissue up her nose and sniffs. She definitely sniffs. If you try it, if you have the tissue nose, you're gonna sniff. No, that's just, it's so suspicious. And it actually does look like she sniffed something up her nose. Now, there's also some videos, some posts going around saying that she posed for a picture, and then there's a flash. Okay. Do I think she posed for a photo? I do. I think she posed for a photo, but the flash we saw, I think, was something on the screen. Because she definitely looked up at the cameraman. But I don't think, and I heard the click of the shutter click, but I don't think that flash is not the photo. But she definitely held that pose for a bit. And, I think her PR guy is, probably working overtime trying to spin this. So I do think she had a picture taken on purpose like that. But yeah, the flash that we all saw, I think that was the screen, because there's no flash photography in the courtroom. It's generally not allowed. So, my chair. I need a new office chair so bad. This thing is 3 years old, and there's like a screw missing, and it's just my fat ass. The puffiness of the chair has gone out of it, for the most part. So, yeah, there's definitely something going on there with that photo. And definitely something going on with the tissue, because it's the only time she used that tissue. You know, and she did it all, I think that was all in the same motion. You know, she had her picture taken, she sniffed something up her nose. I mean, something went up that nose. You don't sniff while you got a tissue at your nose. You're going to suck up the tissue or the little tissue particles in your nose, and you're going to be sneezing like crazy. I've heard some people say that she might have used something called a tear stick. I'd never heard of that before. Something to help you cry. I don't know, do actors use that kind of thing? So... I don't think, I think when it comes down to everybody's testimony, I think the jury will remember bits of it. I think it's going to come down to who they really believe, Amber's account or Johnny's account. By the way, on my, there's another thing, if you guys are on my Twitter, I shared a video. There's a channel called, I think, Law and Lumber. There's this guy, and he was debunking her claim that Johnny broke the end of the bed, splintered the bed, just from his weight or his foot. And he works with wood, and he went in great detail, great explanation of how that could not happen. And so I believe that Amber or her friend broke off a piece of that wood to make it, and then took the picture, but was dumb enough to leave the knife on the bed when taking the pictures, what I think. Because he was saying that's the only way that wood could have split, was for a sharp object to go down into the wood and break it apart. And as far as that would explain to me how her hair was torn, bits of her hair was torn out. Johnny didn't tear her hair out from the scalp because it would have been bloody and very obvious. I think her hair, if she was sitting on the floor in front of the bed with that split wood, it may have torn some of her hair off, or it was just outright pulled out of a hairbrush. So I don't know. Johnny didn't rip her hair. It's very hard to rip somebody's hair out their head, really. And if they, that's what, if they do, it's gonna leave a bloody mess, not, you know, pieces, not like what she showed. That just watching that trial just left me tired. I'm sure it did a lot of you too. I've seen other YouTubers talking about how tired they are. But I'm sure no one's more tired than JD. And I'm sure, I don't know if he's still in Virginia during this week, or if he was allowed to leave. hope that he's getting the rest that he needs. So sorry, I thought I heard something. No, it's my Sandy girl over there. Alright, I'm going to get off of here. Like I said, I just wanted to come on and talk to you guys. It's a long one. If you didn't make it through, I understand. If you did, let me know if you listened to all of it. I'm going to be doing some more videos this week since I'm off, and I will get to the triangulation. I want to do a video about triangulation and show you how the narcissist uses that. I know I want to do one about the smear campaign, which is what Amber has done. By the way, Amber's used all the narcissistic tricks on Johnny. The triangulation bit is where they use they can use people, things, businesses. But the way she continued to bring up Johnny's kids when it's the one thing that he didn't want, that's triangulation. Yeah. So my attention is starting to get pulled away, and there's some things that, like I said, I'm expecting a delivery, and I refuse to sit in this house this week while I'm off. So I want to go to the Tractor Supply store, and I want to I think I might go to the library today. And I want to go look for some new music. I'm trying to broaden my music knowledge. One thing I realized when joining the Discord group, the Never Fear Truth Discord group, is I'm an 80s girl, so a lot of my music taste is centered around the 80s, and I like classical music. But there's so much music out there that I didn't think I would like that I do like a lot. Like the DC Fontaines, I'd never heard of them before Johnny Depp, and I absolutely am in love with that group. I've been introduced to music that I had never heard before, like Shane McGowan. Never before Johnny, never heard of it, never heard music like that, and I like it. I like the storytelling. It seems to have like a storytelling genre to it, you know. And I like that. My stepdad, when I inherited his car, and when I did, there was a CD in the car that was very much like that, but not exactly the same genre, but it was like folk music, and it was telling a story, and it was a little more crude than I ever thought I would ever think my stepdad would listen to. So I was a little shocked, but I laughed. I mean, it was really funny. It was like, I forget what it was about. I mean, I can't right now off the top of my head, but I remember the first time I heard it, it was hilarious. And so like I said, ever since joining the Never Fear Truth Discord group, my musical taste have expanded. It's always been eclectic, but it's expanded because I'm listening to music I had never heard before, and that because I didn't think I would be interested in it, and I've been proven so wrong. And so now, when I get in the car and I have the same 6 CDs that I've had in there for the last 2 years, I'm like, this is no longer doing it for me. This isn't touching me anymore. So I'm probably going to go and try to find some DC Fontaine today for my car, and some other things that I've heard in the Discord group. So And it's little things like that. Johnny's touched so many people in so many ways, it's ridiculous, like in a good way. I've been painting again. I've been practicing really hard on my piano again, learning new music. And he's had that effect on a lot of people. He has made it okay to just be yourself. And those of us who are introverted and consider ourselves weird, like I really consider myself really, really fucking weird. Like just because I work from home, I work with kids, and when I get around adults, I just act like I'm at the circus. So, but I talk 100 miles an hour, and because I don't get to talk to adults, and except for when I get on here. My depression he's made it okay, I have depression, because he suffers from it, but it's going to lift, it's going to pass, and you just get into whatever you're into. Draw, sketch, paint, practice playing music, listen to music you've never heard before. Open yourself up to these things, because you know what, I'm going to tell you something. We've got one go around on this earth, and we'll never experience all the things that this world has to offer. Especially in someone like me, without the means, I've never even left this country. There's so much of the world out there that I will never get to experience. So I have to do it through music, through art, through movies, through books. That's how I'm going to touch places like, France and Italy, Alaska, even. And I know that's part of the United States, but it's a little far for me. Hawaii, the little places, the little countries, that people hardly ever hear of, whose cultures are so different from mine. The only way that I'm ever going to experience that stuff is through music and books and things like that. So that's part of my goal for this week while I'm off. I've always wanted to go to Italy for some reason. I saw a movie called Under the Tuscany Sun. Under the Tuscany Sun. I think that's right. Ever since that movie, it's been one of the places that I've always wanted to see. I don't know why, it just stuck with me. Anyways, it is a very long video, and for the most of it, I'm just blabbering. I'm just talking. A little bit about the trial, a little bit about just stuff that I'm thinking about that's on my mind. But I never have time to do this. If you watch this to the end, bless your heart, let me know that you watched it to the end. I did say that when I got to 100, I would do something. I don't really know what to do. The only thing I can suggest is maybe a Q&A kind of thing. I'm not prepared to do a live because I'm chicken. Be really embarrassing if it was just me and one person. Plus I wouldn't know what to say in a live. But maybe if we can get up to 1,000, I'll do a live. But I think that might be my delivery. But if you are curious, oh, it has arrived, yep. But if you are curious about anything about me. You know, I mean, I've written books. I'm a child care provider. I was a governess for a public figure. And if you have questions about me, questions about my channel, questions about anything I've talked about, questions about narcissism or abuse recovery, so we'll do that kind of thing. If you leave your question in the comment section, I will do a video to answer each question. So I want to give time for those questions to come in. So give me a couple of weeks, give people time to see this video if they make it to the end, and we'll do that. So I'm going to go get my delivery in and then go to the Tractor Supply store and see what I can see. They've got the baby chicks in. I just want to see them. Alright, God bless you guys. Thank you for being here. For reals, you guys don't even know. Let's get to 200. Can we get to 200 now? Thank you for getting me to 100. And now we push onward to 200. I thank you so much. God bless. Have a great week.